Yeah, but so this is a crazy thing to think about, right? So when the French Revolution happened, right? It was a middle class revolt. Like it was the people who actually owned property. There was also like serfs, but there was also like another level of 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 the peasantry that were that had land, right? They were very, very, very low commoners. Those are the people who actually owned things that weren't literally property of others, who led the revolt, right? So for them, yes, yes, but it's this is really important because if you think about it, for them, right, when they became free by killing their king, right, the social equity for them goes like this. The social equity for the feudal person, the person who was living in serfdom, goes like this. It goes very small, right? Compared to because the other people now have more potential for social mobility to upwards because now there's not kings. Every person has the ability to rule over someone else. But the lowest people of the that chain, when they came up, right? Their like understanding of that freedom was way different than the people above them. So, because it was always predicated on the domination of others. So that understanding of like that freedom, that liberty, right? It was always predicated on the domination of others. So now that's what led us to now Turtle Island, the New World. And so when we take, because like the French Revolution kind of is that how we got to like liberalism, and then that continued on into communism, socialism, right? Like it kind of like there's a tangent where like the French Revolution spurred liberalism and like the liberty, but then it went back into the collective, and that's where like communism and socialism became like a collective political idea out of that thought. No, no, no. I'm just saying. So this is my always like my critique of like socialism and communism because it worked in Europe, and it was a sound ideology. But the problem is that Marx, Engels, most of them didn't like understand the concept of like their European understanding of this like collective prosperity doesn't work when you're now stealing the land of other people, right? Because there was like a collective, like there was a collective, like the right of the land was bottlenecked for so long in Europe, where there was very few people who had the right of the land. So then there was a huge, like, the there wasn't an expansion because there was no free land. It just came to the ability of being able to own land was a thing, right? But then they went to the New World. They went to the New World, and that's when like this idea of like liberty and prosperity became a thing. But if you look at that through the lens of a colonized person that was like an indigenous person, that you're like that idea of prosperity, and even if you're a worker, right, that wants to be a socialist but you're still a settler, you're coming on to stolen land. So your idea of like communism is still as an occupy, like still as a settler on occupied territory. So like it doesn't work. You have to include them. You have to like you have to acknowledge that you're, there's an always going to be an innate like the difference in the social breakdown will, when you're going on to stolen land, will always be different. It will always be inequitable. So you have to acknowledge that. You can't do like the European idea of socialism on stolen land.